How's it going, you guys? It's Max here. Today I'm just gonna be doing basically breaking down my gameplay. This is Rush on Grand Bazarr. We've just started off. I won't be using an M98B the whole game because that's simply, I don't know why anybody would do that. It's a pretty CQB to medium range map. So, I mean, unless you're on the second set of MCOMs, then I might see why you want to, snipe people down the B flag hallway, or maybe the road that leads you down to the B objective. But anyways, the first thing I want to talk about is the A MCOM, and that's the first one that people mainly go for. And the key to getting this objective is to not wait back, or is to not sit in the back of your spawn and wait for everybody to get set up, because if you're like 5 seconds behind the enemy team, you will not get to the bomb, and it will be hard as shit to plant it. And that's because they're already set up. There's going to be snipers in the back waiting for you. There's going to be guys with LMGs. Like that guy that I first killed. He was going to set up with a bipod and defend that area like shit. And it'll take us a while to take him out. So obviously, right here, I kind of think M98B is probably not the best weapon. So I picked up this guy's kit. This guy has a fucking foregrip, what is it, a flash suppressor? No, suppressor and Iron V. And I do have to say, that is a pretty good class. I mean, you really might not expect it to be that really good, but it didn't turn out too well. Like, I actually used it quite a bit until I died. Then I switched back to my assault kit after this using my M416. But you see, especially with CQB or close quarter maps on Rush, every second counts. Don't wait, don't stall, don't fuck around. If you really want to win the game and, not have too much hassle, then go for the objective and do it fast. As you can see, I noticed that my whole team is going for B. That's great. That means the enemy team is being distracted. That means that the A objective is clear. I don't know what the fuck I was doing here. I just used the guy's support class with C4. I did plant the bomb. They did defuse it, but I got some payback. I mean, you'll see it up here. Hold on. Boom. Got him. Double kill. Nice. But anyways, I don't know why I did that. And then I end up planting it. I think it gets defused one more time. But as you can see, not even some of my squad mates are on me right now. And especially with a game mode like Rush, like in Conquest, you can do like your own thing and go capture the objectives. But in Rush, if you're by yourself on an objective and the enemy team knows that you're planning it, or it's planted and you're the only person there, you have to expect a lot of resistance. You have to expect the worst. They're going to be RPGs going after you, M320s. That's the big thing that always gets me, is that I'm like sitting in the general vicinity of the MCOM, and some faggot with an M320 just comes up. So definitely gotta watch your back. That's another thing I want to talk about, is standing too close to the objective. This is what a lot of noobs tend to do. I'm not saying you guys are noobs, but a majority of the Battlefield 3 players realize that if they stand close to the bomb, sure, you're defending the objective, but what happens if somebody rushes you? That means, you're not. And basically around the MCOMs in this game, there really isn't much barriers or cover. So like in the room that I just passed, or even laying and prone somewhere, that'll be just fine for cover. But anyways, yeah, don't stand too close to the objective. You will get owned, and it just won't be a good day. So I get killed. Pretty much the whole enemy team is on this one bomb. We do get the bomb, which is pretty lucky, considering that my team, I mean, you can see the blue tick markers, like they're all shooting and staying in one spot. And I was getting so mad because it's like Rush. It's even in the name. You have to rush. In Rush, you rush, and if you don't rush, then you get rushed, and then you'll feel like an ass because you didn't rush in the first place. So it's kind of common sense. Like, like team deathmatch. It's, you know, it's a team and it's a deathmatch. Like two teams go up against each other, just complete mayhem. Conquest, like you have to conquer the objectives, and if you don't conquer the objectives, then you will lose the game. In Rush, you have to rush the objectives, capture them, and then move on to the next set of objectives and rush those as well. And a lot of people don't realize that, like, that I've been repeating for like the past 5 minutes for some reason. Yeah, you have to rush the objective. There's just no way to it. And obviously you can see here we're down to about, what is that? What does it say? What is that? 49 tickets? Or is that 39? I think it's 40 or 49 tickets. Luckily, this server was, you know, just a normal ticket server, so the attackers didn't get like 500 tickets. I don't know why people do that. It kind of ruins the whole point of Rush, because if you have 500 tickets for the attacker side, it gets pretty hard as the defenders constantly having to, you know, take out all the vehicles, things like that, and even like stay close to the objectives. So having max tickets for the attackers on a Rush server is almost as bad as being the attacker on or being a defender on Rush for the armor kill maps, because the AC-130 is just so OP on those maps. But anyway, you can see my squad mate. I was actually in comms. He was a part of my clan. Me and him raped some serious ass this game. So we get in, we plant the bomb, and we get out, and all is well after we plant this bomb. See, now you can see that our team is kind of setting up around the objective, not too close. If you bunch up close, I think even Luton 08, if you don't know who he is, then you're kind of weird. He does kind of like strategy, kind of, you know, logic videos like I do. I'm not saying I do logical videos, but I mean, you know, strategy videos like I do. And he says, you know, and this is what everybody should say, you know, if you clunk up too close to the objective, you will get stormed. And it only takes one guy with an LMG to go through half of your team, which is really bad in this game, actually, because you know, one guy can take out 5 guys really easy if the skill on your team is at least decent, you know. But luckily, I think the main reason why we got those 2 objectives the last set was because of me and my other friend. We were in communications, and that's what you really rely on, especially in Battlefield 3, no matter what game mode, even Team Deathmatch. You guys might think Team Deathmatch, oh, you know, you can go, you know, COD Pro on that fucking game mode, and you don't need any teamwork. Well, it depends on your playstyle, and you know, obviously, if you really want to win and you really want to get on some good win streaks, go for Conquest and Rush. Stay in comms with you know, a couple friends, or you know, maybe some friends of friends that you don't really know. Either way is just fine, as long as you're saying, oh, there's a guy sitting on the objective here, oh, there's a guy over here watching this alleyway. That gives your teammates a little more, you know, at least not that big of a heads up, but at least he has it stuck in his head that, oh, you know, maybe I should you know, go an opposite route, or flank behind that guy that's camping right next to the objective, and, you know, try to stay as cautious as possible. So the third set of objectives is probably one of the hardest. Now, the first and second objectives, they're not too tricky, but the third set, the set that we're on right now, those are kind of hard, because you know, obviously in the room to the right, as you can see, to the west, well, it was to the west, but then I fucking turned. That building, or that room, and that alleyway is going to be filled up with enemies, so you really have to watch out. And that's why going that route that my teammate's on is so good. You know, I was also getting kind of mad is because, like, I was saying to my friend, I was like, dude, if we were in my clan's game battles team, this would not be acceptable, because what my team was doing is that we would all die at the same time, and this is a huge disadvantage for the attackers. This is why you need to be in comms with your teammates as well, and make sure, you know, before your teammate spawns, you have to tell them if it's safe or not, because a couple times in this game you'll see me spawn on a teammate and I'll die immediately, because my teammate wasn't aware that he was getting shot at and that I was about to spawn on him, and because I didn't tell my teammate that I was about to spawn on him. So you have to give your teammates a head up, or your friends a heads up before you spawn on them, just to make sure that it's safe, because it's just a waste of tickets. If you spawn on your teammate and you immediately die, that's just one more unnecessary ticket. That's like dying for no legitimate reason. You just spawn and die. It's almost like a rotation of death. And that's if your whole team keeps dying at the same time, that really adds up to a lot of tickets, and you really have to watch out. What is it? 12-man teams on each side, and that's 24 players combined. If all of your team kind of dies around the same time, that's at least 10 or 11 tickets all at once. So you'll see we're kind of setting up around the B objective. This objective is not too hard. The one straight ahead is simply because there's only one way you can get to it, and that's either making a sharp turn around that little courtyard area, or you can just go straight forth through the alleyway. But that's really difficult, and you really have to, what I would do if I were rushing that area, first of all, I wouldn't even be rushing it. That's just idiotic. That's like wanting to die, just saying, oh, go ahead and fucking shoot me in the dick while I'm sprinting at you. No, but one piece of equipment that people don't think of using is M320 smoke, and that is essential to completing a game of Rush. M320 smoke is not only going to give you the cover, but it's also going to give your teammates a chance to move up to different positions, even if it's not for rushing to the objective. But if you're just launching a couple nades across the street, they can't see you, they can spot you out. But then that goes into more detail, like if you're in hardcore or core. But if you're on core, they can still spot you out, but they're probably gonna just be spraying their asses off, because they're like, oh wow, there's some guys running through smoke, let me just aim down my sights and hope for the best that I fucking kill them. That's what most people are gonna do, and take that advantage. And what I like to do when I'm like running across the street, out in the open, I would usually just kind of run and sprint in the same time. It doesn't seem like much, but it does help. Even those few extra bullets, I mean, think about it, every bullet that hits you in this game counts as like, what, 10-20% health, depending on where they hit you and how many times they hit you. So if you can lessen the chance of them shooting you like directly, then you'll be pretty much good to go. And then obviously, if you're in comms and you're smart and you love playing strategic, you're gonna have one or two other medics on your in your squad or on your team. So as you can see, we're on the last set of objectives, and basically the first one we push up to is the A objective. Now this objective is kind of hard because it's a close quarters room, and you're gonna have to watch. Sorry, I'm stuttering. Sorry. You're gonna have to watch out for claymores, C4, etc. Because that's what people do in this game. They're assholes. And in Rush, I mean in FPS, sure, you'll rage at people, but they're gonna do everything they can to stop you from planning the objective. And that's why people play Rush and Conquest, because they like being assholes and they like playing cheaply. So that's one of the beauties of being medics. You can easily revive people on the spot, and you can get back in there. But one trick that most people don't think of is smart revives, and I think Rival X Factor did this a while back. He said, I mean, if you can obviously see that, like, okay, so your teammate runs past a corner, he gets shot like fuck. You're like, oh shit, my diggity dog homie just got shot like fuck. And that doesn't mean to revive him. That just means that now the enemy team or the people around the corner that killed your teammate are expecting you to run around the corner. And this is what I cram into the heads of the people in my clan. I'm like, hey man, when we're playing strategic, the one thing, I don't care if you plant C4 on the objectives, I don't care if you team kill me or on accident or anything. One thing that I absolutely fucking hate is when you do stupid revives, and that's when somebody revives you just for the points. This is a problem that many Battlefield players have. I mean, even if you tell other people not to do it yourself, like, everybody makes mistakes once in a while. I do, you know, notice that. But if you can help it, don't revive your teammate, or make sure your teammate doesn't revive you in the midst of a firefight. And that's one thing that people tend to do. So that's just a little heads up on how to play a little strategically and save those tickets. So yeah, me and my teammates are pushing up. That's one thing that you should do first before hitting the A objective, is to just simply clear out the catwalk, because that's where a lot of you know, support guys are going to camp. That's where a lot of the snipers are going to snipe you as you're going down the main street. I get a nice little triple kill right here. Or no, sorry, double. So we're kind of planning up, kind of spreading out around the objectives, making sure that we're not standing directly on it, but just close enough to where it's a safe distance, and we'll be able to take the objective without any flaws. And that pretty much wraps up the game. We did win. And what a better way to finish off a rush game with 21-8. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Rate, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, happy killing.